Good evening to everyone present here today. To those of you who only recognize my name from that weekly email that pops up in your inbox or your spam, no offense taken, honestly. My name is Arlinne Rodriguez, a soon-to-be fifth-year senior whom, despite being able to type out a somewhat inspirational message to a listserv of over 600 members and alumni, I couldn't find myself to initiate this 7-minute speech. As I wrote this, I thought to myself, I definitely should have started writing this sooner. In preparation for this, I did what I figured most do before giving a speech of this kind of stature. I listened to speeches that were so incredible they impacted the lives of many. I listened to speeches not as great like those of leaders of countries that are very close to home. Was I able to overcome my nerves prior to even giving the speech? Not really. After staring blankly and worriedly at a screen for hours, I finally reached out to my mother, desperate for some magical spark that eliminated my writer's block. Speak from your heart, and the rest comes naturally. And that was it. My story with SHIP begins 4 years ago. I was a small fish in the gigantic pond once again. The transition from high school to college is never the smoothest. At least it wasn't for me. I lost myself trying to maintain the person I was in high school. It wasn't until I stepped into my first SHIP meeting. I didn't know anyone at the time, and stepping into a room not knowing what to do, how to act, or how to feel is intimidating and overwhelming. That feeling rapidly disappeared as everyone was welcoming, and I soon realized why we call this our SHIP familia. Here I am, my 4th year running to be part of the SHIP UA Executive Board. Because I want every single person that steps into a SHIP UA meeting to never experience that feeling again, I am here today. I genuinely care for SHIP and for every single one of you, both present and not present today. No matter how cliche it sounds, SHIP became my familia. I found comfort and shelter in SHIP. I gained a newfound confidence, not only in myself, but in what a group of like-minded, hardworking individuals can accomplish together. And I have the opportunity once again to put myself out there and become a leader of this chapter to accomplish things like no other. So let me ask you all, what can I do for you all as SHIP UA chapter president? I have a few points that I'd like to address, so bear with me. I know we're getting pretty late. First of all, I'd like to address the SHIP National Conference. The SHIP National Convention, Phoenix 2019, October 30th to November 3rd, the power of transformation. How does having the host of a SHIP National Convention right up the street from Tucson create an impact for a chapter? Simple. Let's transform the way we view this upcoming national conference. If a SHIP UA member wants to attend the conference, they will. How do we accomplish this? One of our main sponsors, not only of our chapter, but of the national conference in itself, is none other than Honeywell. Honeywell representatives have already directly contacted our chapter because they want the presence of our chapter at this national convention. And with the help of SHIP UA alumni, there is no reason why all, or at least 85% of us, should be going to this conference. Let's take care of these registration fees, the hotel cost, and transportation, and open the door for all of our members to attend this national conference and get all these opportunities for them. Ooh. RLDC 2020. Let's fast forward to 2020, the Regional Leadership Development Conference. Why is this significant to our chapter? It has been more than 15 years since the University of Arizona SHIP chapter has hosted RLDC. With national conference being hosted in Phoenix, just imagine what an impact hosting the 2020 RLDC conference can have on how the rest of our region and how the rest of SHIP National sees our chapter. With an already drafted proposal and communication with Region 2 Leaderboard, let's make SHIP UA RLDC 2020 a reality. SHIP TINA. Why is it that we only had 3 female executive board members, the lowest in my 4 years of being with SHIP UA this past year? If there is no longer a Young Latina Forum to encourage and empower young Latina future engineers, how do we make sure that we are still providing the resources to ensure they can even reach college? Let's focus on the incredible women that are present here today, on the incredible SHIP UA female alumni and professionals, and the females sitting in a Calculus 1 classroom who lack the confidence and the resources that it takes to enter STEM. From collaborating with campus organizations such as the Society of Women Engineers and Women in Computer Science, amongst others, we can continue to ignite the passion and the drive of the next generation of female engineers. The development of new events. As we look further into the future, let's talk about new and upcoming changes that SHIP needs to see. An IBM and SHIP UA collaboration as we attempt to organize the IBM SHIP UA Hackathon, bringing together the resources and the support from one of our biggest sponsors, IBM, and our skills and passion that comes from our chapter members. La Familia 2.0. Year after year, I always get asked, will there be a La Familia in the spring semester? Let's make this a reality. Being one of the events with the most manageable budgets, there's no reason why, with the right organization and coordinating with the La Familia coordinator, that we shouldn't be able to host a La Familia 2.0 in spring. Chapter development. Many of you expressed the lack of chapter development that was visible this year. Being one of the biggest and most influential organizations in the College of Engineering, the collaborations we have had and the connections we have made with other organizations have been minimal. Working together with other clubs will allow us to continue growing as a chapter as we extend our presence on this campus and become allies instead of foes. Let's share memories and experiences with NESB, with SWE, with WIX, ESE, and even ASE. Hand-in-hand communication and assistance with the e-board. There are many keys to success, but I think we can all agree that communication is a key factor in leading to the success. Let's make sure that communication within the e-board and the general body is never lacking as we host semester town halls, eager to hear what you guys as members have to say about our chapter. Our chapter is not only a reflection of its members, but also its leaders, the executive board. We must make sure all internal communication is present, as I hope to schedule monthly sit-downs with the individual e-board members to discuss improvements, deadlines, and goals. Even if it's 15 minutes, it makes a difference. Professional and alumni communication. As SHIP UA continues developing growing relationships with both local and outside sponsors and companies, the opportunities for our members grow as well. Communication between professionals and alumni and our chapter is also key to maintaining these relationships. Right in our backyard, we have TP, Caterpillar, Intel, American Express. Let's continue building these relationships. Let's make sure we maintain them and they transform into relationships like IBM, Raytheon, Honeywell. We have that potential. A professional monthly newsletter will finally be implemented correctly and concretely, because the more companies we have attending our meetings and sponsoring our events, the more opportunities we are creating for our members to receive internships, co-ops, and full-time employment after graduation. And lastly, and my final point, and probably I don't even need this anymore, the reason why we're still all here today. It was really refreshing to see every single one of the members that were running for any board position today, to see how much of an impact their familia has made for them. It's refreshing to see returning members, new members, and all of them mentioning how much the familia concept that SHIP UA brings has had an impact on their lives. From creating traditions and continuing them, from Scarmi Asada to bringing back Spring Fling, E-Week, selling dates for Valentine's, all of these things make us what SHIP UA really means. A community that, regardless of background, regardless of major, regardless of who you are, accepts you. 4 years ago, one of the alumni, SHIP UA alumni now, Jaime Goitia, pushed me to run for secretary. Again, I ran for secretary, and again, I ran for secretary. At that time, I did have people asking me, why didn't you run for president? Why are you still running for secretary? I wasn't ready. Today, the reason that I'm standing here in front of you is because I am 110% committed and prepared to be in this leadership position. And I don't see myself doing anything else other than helping SHIP UA become the best chapter it can be, whether it be with its members, its professional development, academic development, personal development. Our familia is there for us, and we need to continue being there for our familia. And with this opportunity, I hope to lead the chapter into accomplishments like no other. Thank you. Do you guys have any questions?
So you talk about implementing a lot of new changes to the club. but I feel like changes isn't flipping a light switch, it's growing a plant.
Mhm.
How do you think that you can make a lot of these changes attainable as well as successful, as well as something that the club all kind of sticks together with?
In regards to changes, are you directly speaking about like La Familia 2.0 and like the IBM hackathons, or just in general?
Just in general, all the changes that you listed.
Like I mentioned, it was really refreshing to see how much potential we have in the club and in the members who are running for eBoard. And I think that with the right organization, the right deadlines, like starting as soon as we can during the summer, I think that's one of the things that we lacked on, being able to prioritize during the summer, using as much time as we can beforehand, and take advantage of all this time, take advantage of the skills we have, being able to delegate, for example, RLDC 2020, delegate having an RLDC chair, Shiptina having a Shiptina chair. We have the power to give our members those kinds of leadership positions, and that kind of takes the stress off the back of the e-board, and it also allows them to create those leadership opportunities for themselves, while also implementing events such as RLDC, which is huge. It takes a year to plan. But we have the potential, we have the power. It's just a matter of delegation, organization, and communication. I don't know where you are. Yeah.
You mentioned the connection with professionals, and I just wonder, like, what do you mean? What do you think? Sorry, what do you think is the best way to work on the connection we have, or build new connections like other professionals?
Well, to continue maintaining the old relationships that we have, I think our alumni are a huge reason of why we have the connections we have. We have alumni at IBM, alumni at Raytheon. We're going to have alumni at Microsoft. So just reaching out to these companies, showing them what ShipUA can provide to them, not only asking from them, but also giving back to them. And just maintaining that communication, which is key, with not only our local sponsors, but also like reaching out to new ones, because like I mentioned, we have so many companies around us that there's no reason why we shouldn't be reaching out to them. The worst we can get is a no, the best we can get is a new sponsor.
So being part of the e-board, yes, it gives us the opportunity to give back to the chapter, give back to the community, but being a leader also allows you to grow and learn and become a better person overall. This is the fourth time you're running for an e-board position, so you definitely have had those opportunities. What has been the biggest lesson, what the most important thing you've learned in the past 3 years, and how do you wish, or how would you apply that to chapter?
Definitely these last few years have been a roller coaster. I've had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of downs to be honest, and being an e-board has allowed me to grow as a person, because it taught me that no matter how low it gets or how bad the situation may seem, things do get better. And I think personally I have grown in that aspect, because I know we have these challenges coming up. We have new positions opening. We want to implement new things. We're not always going to get it right, but we need to keep trying regardless. We need to get back up and try again.
That's it. Good time for questions. Thank you, everyone.